Increases to Social Security for everybody across the board, including retirement. SSI, SSDI is now being proposed in a bill that is being reintroduced by none other than Bernie Sanders. I'm going to play for you the video clip that just came out a couple days ago, and you're going to hear him say, listen, we live in the wealthiest nation in America, and we have seniors, those that are retired, that have paid into the system their entire lives, living in poverty. It is not right. We need to fix Social Security, improve the system, and increase the benefits. Let me know your thoughts. Do you agree with Bernie Sanders? It's time to make some drastic changes to Social Security. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, yes or no. But take a look at some of the articles that have been coming out just in the past month or so as $2,400 increase in Social Security benefits proposed. This is Bernie Sanders' bill. We saw him propose this before, and they are saying that, hey, it is simply not enough. The cost of living adjustment and the things being done for Social Security is great, but more needs to happen. And take a look. This actually back in May here, you can see from the Senior Citizens League promoting Bernie Sanders' bill. Legislative update. The new bills could increase benefits by $2,400 and eliminate taxes on benefits. And that's an elimination for everybody with this legislation they're proposing. Now, Bernie Sanders is not the first person to mention this. Take a look. You'll recall back in 2020, Joe Biden ran his campaign saying we should also increase monthly Social Security checks by $200 per month. That's $2,400 a year as proposed in the legislation by Bernie Sanders, as proposed by Senators Wyden and colleagues. Seniors and people with disabilities are uniquely at risk right now, and a lot of people said yes. They would love to see this, but it never came to fruition under the Biden administration. Now we're seeing what reforms will take place with Donald Trump in office. And take a look at this. Just coming out a couple days ago, they're saying there's a Trump bump that is coming for Social Security, is being forecast into the Social Security 2026 cost of living adjustment, or COLA, that annual increase. They're saying it is starting to go up. Here's how much extra you might get. Now, the projections are underway right now. We're waiting for the third quarter results of inflation increases to see how much that COLA will actually be. I'll keep you up to date on that. But take a look. They're saying 2026 Social Security COLA forecast rises again as the Trump tariffs fuel inflation. They are saying that those tariffs that are being put in place, those are sparking the fuel for the increase right now for potential inflation and increases to that cost of living adjustment. And one of the things that just passed in that big, beautiful bill, the 2025 tax bill, an additional $6,000 deduction for seniors, simplified. And I've covered this in detail for you in previous live streams, as we're seeing that that did pass. And so they are saying that about almost 90% now of seniors that collect Social Security, you will pay no taxes on the benefits that you collect. Now, there's still about 10% there. Donald Trump wanted to eliminate it across the board for everyone. A lot of people were on board with that, loved the idea, the concept. However, they said because of the way the bill passed through the process of reconciliation, which only can be done a number of times per year with a majority vote in Congress, so Republicans pushed it through, they could not pass the certain line item the way they wanted that eliminated it entirely. But they were able to do a $6,000 deduction for seniors, which equated to 90% of people having their taxes eliminated on their Social Security benefits. Now, we will see if there's some sort of bipartisan agreement in Congress between Republicans and Democrats to fully eliminate taxes on Social Security. We will see. I will keep you up to date on everything. But let's take a look at the video footage so you can see it for yourself. Look at the legislation that is being reintroduced yet again. And again, this is $200 per month increase, $2,400 a year for seniors that collect Social Security, regardless of SSI, SSDI, retirement. If you like the sound of that, put yes in the comments, and I will keep you up to date on all of this so you know exactly what is going on. Now, before we dive into the video footage, I just wanted to mention that if you or somebody you love is collecting Medicare, This is important. Now, I've shared with you before that on May 1st, the Department of Justice filed a massive fraud complaint against 3 of the largest Medicare brokers in the country. You can see it on the screen. Now, according to the DOJ, these brokers misled seniors, claiming to offer unbiased help while secretly steering them to insurance plans that paid the highest kickbacks for them. Not the best plans for you. Not the right plan, just the most profitable ones, and it's infuriating, and sadly, it's not surprising. So that's why I recommend Chapter. Chapter is different. This company was founded because their own parents were scammed, and they vowed to fix the system. They are fully independent, and they are the only national advisors that search every Medicare plan available to find the one that actually fits your needs. They advocate for you, not the insurance companies. There's no steering. There's no pressure, just ethical, honest help at no cost to you. That's right. This is totally free. So if you want help with Medicare, give Chapter a call. You can see the number on the screen, 984-375-0879. You'll talk to a real person who will help you figure out exactly which plan is right for you. Chapter has saved the average senior that calls in $1,100. They actually had one of my viewers get saved over $1,600. So I'm going to paste this information down below. It's on the screen for you. Give Chapter a call today. And thank you to all the people that Chapter has helped. They've let me know they've already helped hundreds of people on my channel. So very happy to hear that. Give them a call if you're interested. But let's go ahead and take a look at the video footage and dive into this legislation. Just a reminder, this is being reintroduced, proposed, and they're saying, hey, let's help out seniors. Bernie Sanders still pushing for reform on Social Security. And like you've seen, we're going to need it because Social Security is going to run dry pretty soon. Solvency is going to hit. And once that does, there will be slashes to checks. And so they have got to make reform to Social Security. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. Like I said, you're going to hear him say, we live in the wealthiest nation in the world. It is not okay for our seniors to be living in poverty. Reforms must be made. Increases should take place. We have got to fix things for those on Social Security. And if you agree, put yes in the comments, hit that like button, subscribe to stay up to date, and let's take a look at this video footage.
Astoundingly, again, we are the wealthiest country in the history of the world. And yet nearly half of older workers have no retirement savings. I've introduced legislation today that would bring back defined benefit pension plans for over 56 million American workers. Ms. Friedman, what would it mean if every American had access to a defined benefit pension like the one members of Congress have?
Senator, it's a great question. As I said in my statement and in my written statement, defined benefit plans, which are guaranteed plans that provide lifetime payments to individuals, have created a middle class in this country. If everybody had a defined benefit plan, then they'd be able to pay their bills, they'd be able to take care of themselves and not be a burden on society. They'd be able to participate in community.
I'm going to interrupt you here.
Yeah, sure.
Isn't it fair to say, and I trust that nobody disagrees with this, that if you are 60, 65, you're about to retire and you got nothing in the bank, which is the case for millions and millions of people, there is a tremendous level of anxiety. How do I survive?
Yeah, totally.
And one of the astounding facts, we don't talk about it, I learned about it, Mr. Chairman, just last year when I was sitting where you are. 22% of seniors in America are trying to survive on $15,000 a year. Right, that's insane. All right, so what we are striving for here, and you tell me, Ms. Friedman, is a defined pension plan so that when people retire, they know what they're going to get. Also, let me talk about Social Security. The chairman correctly mentioned we have a problem with Social Security. Right now, why don't you tell people if somebody is making $10 million a year and somebody's making $160,000, $176,000, who pays more into the Social Security Trust Fund?
Well, if somebody, so
One's pays 10 million, one's 170.
The lower income person pays much more.
A higher
into
percentage.
Social Security, exactly.
Because we have a cap.
Right.
And what would happen if we lifted that cap to for all taxable income? The legislation that I have introduced would greatly expand benefits and increase the solvency, the issue Senator Cassidy talked about, for 75 years. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it certainly makes sense to me, and the Pension Rights Center also thinks that it's a great idea. Senator, if I may just add, Social Security is this country's nearly universal pension plan, and it's completely portable. It's extremely efficient. It's spending less than a penny on administration of every dollar spent, and returning more than 99 cents of every dollar in benefits. And these benefits have not been
Thank you.
increased. So
There you have it, you guys. And so you can hear Bernie Sanders saying, hey, we need to improve this program. It's not okay that we live in the richest nation in the world and we have our seniors living in poverty, he said, on $15,000 a year. And that is why we are seeing the legislation reintroduced, that Social Security Expansion Act. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at this so you can get the details of it. And you can see this just a month ago. So we've seen the big, beautiful bill passed. We're seeing that tax deduction in place now, and we're also hearing that the cost of living adjustment is increasing due to tariffs, but they're also proposing this. And again, I saw all those yeses coming in the comments, people saying, yes, seniors need more. Currently, this is not taking care of those who depend on Social Security. So lawmakers introduced earlier this year legislation that would expand Social Security benefits by $2,400 a year for eligible beneficiaries. Now, just to clarify, this is not the first time this has been introduced. This is being reintroduced. They are not giving up. They keep bringing this back to the table. If passed, the bill would also ensure the long-term solvency of Social Security for 75 years by applying Social Security payroll tax on all income above $250,000. And so they're saying get rid of the cap, let the money flow into Social Security. The bill was introduced by House Representative Val Hoyle, Senator Bernie Sanders, Senator Elizabeth Warren, Representative Jan Schakowsky. The estimates of the bill's impact are from an analysis of the legislation conducted by the Social Security Administration at the request of Bernie Sanders in 2023, according to the press statement by Hoyle. So again, this was from a couple of years ago, but they're reintroducing it again in 2025, pushing to get this through. And again, if you're glad to hear that, put yes in the comments. The fact sheet lists that the Social Security Expansion Act would do the following. It would extend the solvency of Social Security for 75 years by requiring all income above $250,000 to be taxed by the Social Security payroll tax. Expand Social Security benefits across the board for current and new beneficiaries. So everybody pouring in, you would receive this boost. Under this bill, Social Security benefits for current and existing recipients would increase by $2,400 a year. So there you can see it. That is the big part of this bill that most people want to see enacted. And as we saw, Joe Biden had ran his campaign on back in 2020. Increase the cost of living adjustment, or the COLAs. The bill would measure the spending patterns for seniors by adopting the Consumer Price Index for the elderly, or the CPIE, instead of the CPIW. Improve the special minimum benefit for Social Security recipients. This bill would increase the special minimum benefit and indexing the benefit level so that it is equal to 125% of the poverty line, or over $18,000 for a single worker who had worked their full career. So boosting that floor for those receiving the lowest incomes as well. Restore student benefits up to age 22 for children of disabled or deceased workers. If the child is a full-time student in a college or a vocational school, this legislation would restore student benefits to help educate children of deceased or disabled parents that were eliminated in 1983. According to Hoyle, the Social Security Expansion Act has also been endorsed by over 25 groups, including the following. You can see them right here. So there you have it. That is that boost, that increase being proposed, reintroduced. You can see just a month ago, 2025, the Expansion Act that would add an additional $2,400 a year. That's $200 per month. Now, this back in May, you can see from the Senior Citizens League legislation, the new bill could increase benefits by $2,400, eliminate taxes on benefits. So far this year, Congress has been busy introducing new legislation to improve Americans' Social Security benefits. Two bills, the Social Security Expansion Act and the Senior Citizens Tax Elimination Act, are particularly noteworthy. In this article, we're going to examine both of those bills, looking at what major changes they would enact to provide TSCL's recommendations for moving them forward. Now, the first one, the Social Security Expansion Act, would increase the benefits by $2,400 a year. And again, let me know, are you on board with this? If so, put yes. If no, put no. There are some people that are opposed to this. There are some that say this will make the solvency run out even faster. It'll drain the program, the system. There are others that say we should not do this because it's going to go ahead and cause more taxation. So there's various different reasons why people don't want to see this. Some people are even saying that is simply not enough. $2,400 a year, $200 per month increase still is not going to keep up with inflation, make it even more. But there are some people that are saying, yes, the Expansion Act is the closest thing that we have seen to something that needs to be done. Do that, push it through, get an extra $200 per month to those collecting Social Security. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Now, introduced in the Senate by Senator Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, the Social Security Expansion Act strives to increase benefits for today's seniors while expanding Social Security's long-term financial solvency. So they're saying this particular bill, it would increase the checks and also extend the solvency by upping those taxes, removing the cap on Social Security. Now, Representatives Jan Schakowsky and Van Hoyle introduced a corresponding bill in the House of Representatives. One of the bill's most important features would increase Social Security payments by an estimated average of $200 per month or $2,400 per year for the average beneficiary by changing the way that benefits are calculated so that more income is counted in this formula. The new calculation would favor lower income seniors by virtually all beneficiaries would benefit. Another important feature of the bill would be applying the 12.4% Social Security payroll tax, which is split between employees and employers, on all income above $250,000 a year. In 2025, Americans only pay Social Security tax on the first $176,100 that they make yearly. According to an analysis from the Social Security Administration's chief actuary, the new revenue provided by this change would extend Social Security solvency for at least 75 more years. The program is currently projected to be unable to pay full benefits starting in the year 2035 because of the expenditures that outpace the revenue. Now, we've heard that that number actually is sooner. I've heard of projections going to 2033 or even sooner as a result of some of the legislation that recently passed that is going to eliminate the majority of taxation for beneficiaries. Now, TSCL strongly endorses this legislation. We have long argued that Social Security benefits have fallen behind the pace of inflation and need a boost. To improve the program's finances, we have frequently called for Congress to raise or eliminate the income thresholds on Social Security's payroll tax. So there you have it, you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and you can see also Tax Elimination Act. This would eliminate it for 100%. That is what Donald Trump was advocating for, wanted to see, but was unable to get all of Congress on board. But they were able to pass that $6,000 deduction in the big, beautiful bill through the process of reconciliation. On July 4th, President Trump signed H.R. 1, commonly referred to as the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, or the OBBB, that extends expiring Tax Cuts and Jobs Act's provisions and enacts several new tax cuts, including no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on car loan interest, and, as discussed below, an additional deduction for seniors. The Joint Committee of Taxation estimates that the law's tax provisions will add $3.5 trillion to federal deficits over the next 10 years. Read more about the other provisions included as well, so you can see what is the additional deduction for seniors in the OBB. The OBBB permanently extends the double standard deduction for the TCJA. It also provides an extra $750 to the standard deduction for single taxpayers, $1,500 for married couples in 2025, and adjusts those amounts for inflation yearly beginning in 2026. Altogether, these changes are projected to cost $1.4 trillion from the year 2025 to 2034. On top of those increases, the standard deduction, OBBB, adds an additional $6,000 deduction per individual for taxpayers 65 and older. This new deduction supplements a pre-existing addition to the standard deduction for seniors of $2,000 and for single filers $1,600 per qualifying individual for married filers. This addition to the standard deduction is not available to tax filers who itemize their deductions. So this has been passed, approved. It is going to be applied, and they're saying that this will help out almost 90% of those that collect Social Security, that you will essentially be paying no tax on the benefits that you receive. So this coming in, this is for the big, beautiful bill for seniors. So this is huge, but a lot of people saying it is simply still not enough. That overall, we need to see increases across the board for those on retirement, SSI, SSDI, and also we're hearing that it's going to be needed because that COLA is being projected to get higher as well. Now, I covered this for you in detail in a previous live stream. You can see this July 20th. They're calling it the Trump bump. And this is due to the tariffs that they are saying are fueling inflation. However, take a look. The current predictions for 2026 cost of living adjustment are now up to 2.6 and 2.7. But larger Medicare Part B premium increases are expected to eat up most or all of it. So they're saying it is simply not enough, that more is needed for seniors. And again, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you agree? I'm seeing people saying yes, yes. I'm seeing yes in the comments. People are saying they need increases. So we're going to be seeing here, but as you can see here, Bernie Sanders, he is not giving up, still pushing for this legislation, the Expansion Act, $200 per month increases across the board for retirement, SSI, SSDI, anybody collecting those fixed income benefits from the Social Security Administration. They are saying you need a fixed bump up, not a percentage that is too small, that doesn't even keep up with inflation. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. But that is the latest, and I'll be sure to keep you up to date on Social Security, on Medicare, and as I mentioned, thank you to today's video sponsor, Chapter, for making those free phone calls available to my audience. If you feel like you've been getting ripped off on your Medicare, trust your gut. Chances are you might be right with the latest information coming out from the DOJ. So give them a call. They can help you out. Worst case scenario, they say, hey, you've already got the best Medicare available to you. But there's also a possibility they could start saving you over $1,000, which is about $1,100, I think, is the average that they save people that call in, that they can help. So give Chapter a call today. You can see the number on the screen, 984-375-0879. But there you have it, you guys. That is the latest. I'll continue to keep you up to date as more comes out. There's things that are starting to happen with Social Security, so stay tuned. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.